Hello, my name's JoWonder and I'm doing a PhD on the credit crunch, green politics and time. And I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the research that I'm doing into this. And first of all, I'm very glad to say there is some good news, some green sprouts coming up. First of all, very importantly, the semiotics that people use are very important. The expression for the credit crunch is starting to change. And that's why I've got this. People are starting to call it holiday. No longer are we calling it the credit crunch, we're calling it holiday. So remember that. It's partly to do with, do you remember last time I was explaining this thing called time? It's a bit like this. Imagine if I could compress this in, which is how it was when we were all slaving day and night, a bit like those little mice on those things to keep them fit. If I could push this in and then expand it out, we have the word holiday. Now, in amongst this good news, things change is always difficult. We have some other things which are good. People are being very resourceful. They're saving their Quaker oats in the morning, a little bit at a time, to build the family extension on the house. Actually, some people think I'm joking, but now that I know in London, Great Britain, that nobody's really bothering with planning permission, if you can get a thick enough texture out of your Quaker oats, as you see, this gradually gets thicker and thicker, and if I leave that there for a few days, I mean the best thing to do is to make a brick shape out of it and then leave it for a few days, and then every morning just save a little bit of Quaker oats, make a brick shape. It's funny actually, I remember some of those movies used to have people doing similar things to escape out of prison, but this is like an everyday thing now. Being castrated now, it's not as bad as it might sound. What's happening is the parents are sending them out to sing in some of the pubs. Sometimes I presume it's going on to records and CDs, and other times I think some of the very, very talented children are going into the opera. On the subject of the castrados, this is something very beautiful when a young man can sing much, much better than he would normally do, because he can hit the high notes, and this is where there's a little way to earn a few extra pennies during the holiday. And so I don't suggest everybody do it and get your son's consent, but I'll just give you a little tip on how this can be done. I mean, the thing is if you're finding it difficult earning a living during this holiday, there are many ways if you use your imagination, and this is just one. Okay, look, it looks like a simple can opener with a turning action, and so all you've got to do is just remove the, are they called testes of your son? I'll just try and show you how you do it. Oh. That's it. You'll find if you just take them where they're attached and get the bit where they're attached, imagine that's the testes, and just turn that. If you do it quickly, they'll pop off in no time. And then an extra bit of money can be earned through opera singing. If there's no opera houses nearby you, due to Arts Council cuts, then the local church, they always pay a few pennies for a really, really nice choir singer. You know those large chunks of polystyrene that you get when you buy your hi-fi? They're kind of collecting that because polystyrene floats. For those of you who haven't worked out the polystyrene system yet, sorry, it's the weather. This is just as useful. a thing that's quite common on most wrapping is bubble wrap. And you see, the main worry is all the rain that we're getting. People are trying to build some sort of Noah's Ark for their family that will float. And if you can't afford the hi-fi, simple, buy one a day envelope like this. You can take off, it's a little bit difficult here while we're filming, you can take off the bubble wrap. That's what bubble wrap is. Do you remember how nice it is punching the bubbles? And this will float because of the air on it. Look at that. And then, if you keep enough of that, you can sew it all together. Sewing is an art that's coming back. You can put in a needle in and thread, sew it all together. And if the rains get too bad, I mean, here we've got about 9 inches of rainfall. If you've got all this sewn together, you can actually vacate your family out of the house onto the bubble wrap. Remember, it's sewn together, so it's like a big blanket, and float away, because we've got about 9 inches here. You need probably about 20 inches. I've done a bit of research with this. I made a mock-up in my sink. And your family can escape maybe to somewhere that's got better prospects. But meanwhile, enjoy the holiday.